All right, let's get right into it. What we're talking about today isn't just another topic. Think of this as opening a defense manual. Because let's be real, the fight for truth, it's become a full-blown battle. And this is your strategic briefing.
So, why does it feel like reality itself is breaking? I mean, you felt it, right? That sense of disorientation, like you're arguing with someone and you're in completely different universes, where basic facts suddenly feel negotiable? Well, I'm here to tell you it's not just you. And this feeling, it's not an accident. It's a designed feature of the world we live in now, not some random bug in the system.
Yeah, there's actually a name for this. It's called an epistemic crisis. And the word to really focus on there is systemic. This isn't just things falling apart randomly. It's the deliberate dismantling of the very tools we use as a society to agree on what's real. And once that shared reality, that common ground is gone, well, trust just evaporates.
Okay, so the big question is, who benefits? I mean, why would anyone want to break reality? Well, as it so often does, the answer comes down to one thing: follow the money. It's an actual business model.
And that business model has a name: surveillance capitalism. And here's the best way to think about it. In this system, the product being sold isn't the app, it's not the service you're using. No, the product is us. Or, to be more precise, our attention. It's being mined, extracted, just like any other raw material, and then sold off to the highest bidder.
So how do they get the most out of this raw material? Well, it's a pretty simple three-step process. First, the platforms have to extract your attention, get you to look. Second, the algorithms are designed to amplify outrage. Why? Because nothing keeps our attention quite like anger or fear. And third, they take all that data they've collected and basically build digital clones of us. That way, they can micro-target us with ads and content to steer our behavior. And a lot of the time, we don't even realize it's happening.
And if you think that sounds a little too extreme, check out the data. This isn't just a theory, it's been measured. Studies have shown again and again that lies and stuff designed to make you angry spread 6 times faster online than actual boring facts. The system itself is literally built for the lies to win.
And the fallout from this, it's incredibly serious. You can look at the Philippines as patient zero in all this. It's where these tactics, like troll armies and rewriting history online, were really tested and perfected. And what happens is something called effective polarization. It's this shift where we don't just disagree with people on the other side anymore, we see them as actual enemies. And now, with AI in the mix, we've got the liar's dividend. This is a huge problem. Now, a bad actor can just dismiss any real evidence against them, no matter how damning, by simply saying, oh, that's just a deepfake.
Okay, I know. That all sounds incredibly bleak. But there is a way forward. There's a plan. The journalist and Nobel laureate Maria Ressa has laid out a really clear 3-part battle plan to start taking back control of our information. So let's dive into it.
So, the first line of defense. This is the long-term, big-picture stuff. It's what she calls the legal firewall. And basically, it means ending the free pass that big tech platforms have had for years. We're talking about major legal reforms, like looking at Section 230 here in the US and pushing for real transparency, kind of like what the EU is doing with its Digital Services Act. The goal is to make these platforms actually liable for the harmful stuff their own algorithms choose to amplify.
All right, defense number 2 is more of a midterm strategy, and it's called radical collaboration. Think about it. When you're up against disinformation on an industrial scale, old-school media rivalries just seem kind of pointless, right? The idea here is that journalists and news outlets have to start working together, sharing data, and, this is a big one, they have to stop falling into the both sides trap. A straight-up lie does not deserve the same platform as the truth, period.
And the third line of defense? This one is immediate, and it's where you and I come in. It's all about cognitive security. This is about learning to defend our own minds. It's like getting a vaccine. We need to inoculate ourselves against manipulation before it hits, instead of always trying to clean up the mess after the fact.
So, how do we actually do that? How do we build up that cognitive security? Okay, let's get practical. It's time to open up the Personal Defense Manual and look at the tools you can literally start using today. Listen up, because this might be the single most important thing you can do. It's called the holy pause. Here's how it works. If you see something online and it makes your blood boil, or you feel that jolt of fear, that immediate, strong emotional reaction,
That's your brain's alarm bell going off. It's an almost certain sign that someone is trying to manipulate you. And the rule is so simple, but it's so powerful. Stop, do not hit share, just take a breath, and then go verify it.
And we can add more to our toolkit, right? So, on a bigger scale, for a company or an organization, this means having a truth policy as a core value. For us as individuals, it means practicing something called lateral reading. It's super easy. Instead of just scrolling down a sketchy website to see if it's legit, you open a new tab and you search for what other people are saying about that source. And one last thing, be prepared. Get your secure communication channels like Signal set up with your family or your team before crisis happens, not during one.
Okay, so let's run a simulation. How does this stuff actually work when the pressure is on? So imagine this. A deepfake video of your CEO saying something absolutely terrible suddenly goes viral. The clock is ticking. What do?
Here's the playbook. For the first 30 minutes, you do nothing publicly. You invoke that holy pause. No panicked press releases. Instead, you get your crisis team together and you get your IT folks analyzing the video. Then, within about 1 to 3 hours, you put out a statement using a technique we'll talk about in a sec called the truth sandwich. And finally, within 6 to 12 hours, you hit back with clear, visual proof that the video is fake.
So what on earth is a truth sandwich? It's a brilliant and simple communication tool designed so you don't accidentally make the lie more memorable. It's 3 steps. 1, you start with the fact. For example, a fraudulent video is circulating online. 2, you briefly mention the lie without giving it too much oxygen. And 3, you end by restating the fact. It's all about framing. Psychologically, it's way more effective than just saying, "This is not true." Look, all of these tools, all these strategies, they prove that even though this problem feels huge, it's not unbeatable. But just knowing the tools are there isn't enough, right? And this brings us to a fundamental choice, a choice that every single one of us is facing right now. We're really at a fork in the road. Down one path, a post-truth dystopia. It's a world where democracy becomes a total farce, just hollowed out from the inside. But the other path, that one leads to a kind of democratic renaissance, a future that we build with smart regulation and a huge push for public education, teaching everyone this stuff about cognitive security. The thing to remember is that technology is never neutral. It's always political. And the defense against its misuse starts with us, with each one of us. It begins with drawing a line in the sand about what we're willing to accept, and more importantly, what we're willing to share. Because in an economy that is literally built to distract us, your attention is the single most valuable currency of resistance. So the only question left is, what are you going to spend yours on?